This game is rated E10 for ages 10 and up. For more information, please go to esrb.org.
Hello everyone, Curryvolt here, but you can call me KV, and welcome back to the Tears of the Kingdom logs. But apparently we're not gonna look at Tears of the Kingdom right now. We're gonna Nintendo Switch Online because of reasons. In the last log, we found some more Lightroots. We did some more exploration, fought some Frox, or I think we fought one Frox, beat up the Yiga because we could, because they're silly and stupid. And now we're still in the depths, but right now, Pikmin, and Animal Crossing, and My Nintendo Rewards. You go to mynintendo.com for details and see, look at all these icons I've made, because Xenoblade 3 at this juncture was having a lot of icons come out to celebrate the DLC for it, which came out for Tears of the Kingdom. And so I made them, and then there's other icons, and Fire Emblem Engage was amazing. I love Fire Emblem Engage. I like it more than Three Houses. But then there's still other icons I made, and this is so cool that you can do this using your Nintendo Platinum points. And the whole reason I did this back then is because, oh boy, I can actually use my Platinum points or something instead of having to just go away, because Nintendo wasn't doing physical stuff with their Platinum points anymore, or with their Gold points. One of the two. I think they are again now, but don't quote me on that. Also, Kirby's Return to Dreamland Deluxe came out in 2023. It was Kirby's Return to Dreamland. Good game, but wasn't much to write home about. I know it had the Magalar mode and everything, but that mode seemed extremely lacking, and I kind of wish that was just its own subgame instead of being attached to an enhanced port of a previous Kirby game. I wish I had a bit more meat to it as well. Because I just feel like... Hot take? I think playing as Magalar in Star Allies is better than Magalar mode in Return to Dreamland Deluxe. Anyways, backup save data. I don't know why we're here. We Love Katamari came out. Remember we showed that on one of the logs previously? Yeah, and then we can look at all of these titles that have come out on the Nintendo Switch Online, courtesy of June 2023. And also, Birthday is by WarioWare Inc. Mega Micro Games, because it was released when I was turning 14 years old. Now you know when my birthday was. It was in May sometime. Alone in the Dark also came close to my birthday, apparently. I don't know why we're looking at all these. It's just fun to look at. Wario Land 3. Hey, where's Wario Land 2 on the Game Boy online stuff? I like Wario Land 2 better than 3. Come on, they're both fantastic games. I just want 2 more. I like 2 better. Also, Link's Awakening DX came out after Ocarina of Time? Oh, that's news to me. And Mario Party 2 came out in 2000. Yeah, Mario Party 2 came out in 2000. Like, I always associate Mario Party with being, like, releasing the same year as Smash Bros., which was not the case. Mario Party 1 also came out pretty late compared to what I was thinking. Ah, yeah, Prehistoric Man got that great title. Why are we looking at all these? I felt like it. Just wanted to do something cool for the day. Hey, look, Kirby's Dream Land 2 came out very close to my when I was turning 6 years old. Yeah. For reasons, I love this game. And the fact that it released very close to my birthday only became a factor many years later. Because, like, this is one of the first games I ever played. And I love Kirby, and Rick, and Koo, and Kine, and the Waddle Dee, and maybe the Sparky, not the Bronto Burt, definitely not the Gordo, and maybe that little icon that says that it's compatible with the Super Game Boy player. Maybe I like that. I don't know. My favorite Kirby character is Super Game Boy player icon. Kirby's Adventure. I guess I'm just checking to see. Okay, what other things released close to my birthday? Or not Super Soccer? Okay, there it is. I was like, Super Soccer didn't release close to my birthday. It released in May. I was born in May. Super Nintendo came out in August. That's a weird time for it to release, but I guess this quote unquote seasons we have of game releases now didn't exist back then. It came out in July. Oh yeah, Ninja Gaiden and Adventures of Lolo. You know, Adventures of Lolo was the game that Hal was making before Kirby. Okay, no, seriously, why are we here? I know why we're here, but I don't know why we're here. I guess I just want to show all this cool stuff off on the Switch for some reason. Like, look at all these. You can play all these Zelda games. Look, like, I can go back and play Zelda 2 if I want to. Which I kind of do. I prefer if I had a remake, if I'm being honest, but I think I was just happy because, hey, Kirby Tilt and Tumble's on the Switch now. I think I meant to go to the news channel because this was recorded the day of Nintendo Direct in 2023. So, you know what they announced in Nintendo Direct June 2023? A new Mario game. That's almost a year old by the time this video comes out. Super Mario Bros. Wonder, well, definitely not my favorite game of last year, because that goes to last year being 2023. That honor goes to Tears of the Kingdom, obviously. Definitely in my top 5, though. And a good reason for that is because past me is getting to it. Don't need to see the whole trailer. So Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Yeah, look at this new Mario game. Hey, look, we can play as Peach. We can play as Peach in Super Mario Bros. Wonder. Good. Peach should just be a playable character from now on. No more. She gets kidnapped. She's just a playable character. But that's not the greatest part. The greatest part is there's Toad. No, that's not. The greatest part is you can play as Princess Daisy, the best Mario princess. Everyone's happy. Look at her. She's amazing. She's adorable. And she's pushing back that guy because she's cool and she's strong. And you can be a tomboy in a dress and that's not a problem. And I think she's adorable and she is my favorite Mario princess. I'm sorry Rosalina wasn't in the game, but Daisy's better. Just saying. Also, Rosalina had her time in 3D World. But ideally, what they should just do is just make a game that has little princesses being the main characters. We don't need Mario. Me play a game for Mario? What are you talking about? I play a game for all the other characters that aren't Mario. I'm only half joking. But look, there's Daisy again. Yay! I'm very happy. Very happy. Peach and Daisy playable together. Amazing. Old news to everyone by now, but just, I love that. I love that that happens. Also, I just killed a Frox. You didn't see it, but I did. That actually allows me to finally open up on the Nintendo Direct that happened in June of 2024, because that is where we got the announcement of the new Zelda game that's coming out very soon, Echoes of Wisdom. And it might already be out by the time you're watching this video, because that's how slowly I've been doing these. So that's on me. Echoes of Wisdom looks amazing, and we've gotten to learn more information about it since that particular initial direct. I've been holding reservations for talking about most of it until I literally got to the point where I was talking about a direct. So I was like, wait, when do I talk about Super Mario Bros. Wonder? Because I should probably wait for that to come by first before I talk about whatever the heck happened to 2024 Nintendo Direct. Because I haven't talked about what happened to the 2023 one yet. So, Echoes of Wisdom, it uses the same art style, graphical style as Link's Awakening remake. Good. That was a fantastic new style. I hope they make more games than that. I hope they bring back the Wind Waker toon style as well, because I think both those styles should be able to coexist. You play as Zelda. While we haven't seen much as far as the combat goes in that game, it definitely does feel like it is a bit more puzzle-focused, which is good. And a lot of what you're going to be doing seems kind of interesting, and now they've shown more like there's going to be a quote-unquote second world, which a lot of Zelda games have, that you traverse between, and how those all work out. It just looks really amazing, and I can't wait to play it. You'll probably be hearing me talking about that particular game in this series, because we're not finishing the series by the time that game releases. So, yeah, expect in like log 140 or so, I'll probably be talking about Echoes of Wisdom at that point. But it looks really cute and really awesome, and you can also customize Zelda's appearance, which is nice. I feel like now that Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom has broken open that box, I have a very high suspicion, unless it's a remake of an older game, we are not going to have a new Zelda game that doesn't let you customize your appearance in some way. I feel like that's going to be the norm going forward. And if it's not, there better be a good darn reason for it, because the green look is iconic. I get you. I get you. But I want to wear my colors instead. I'll wear a green hat, some orange tunic, and some blue pants so I can do the KV colors. So I'll wear some green, just not everything green. And in fairness, his pants are never green. In fact, in some old Zelda games, he didn't even wear pants. What was he doing? Was it like, did he have short shorts under there, or just going commando? We don't know. And that's okay. Let me think. What else has been talked about as seen as far as Echoes of Wisdom goes so far? Oh, that is a Gloom the Goblin on a Skelly horse. Ow! At least that didn't inflict me with the Gloom stuff. Well, I think about Echoes of Wisdom. Yes, I did play Super Mario Bros. Wonder last year. Definitely in my top 5 games of 2023. I'm trying to think of, I think the other point of that was that since I showed that, I could actually talk about my 2023 favorite games. Tears of the Kingdom is obviously number 1. But then I can't, really... Oh, right. Number 2 for 2023. Well, I like to organize them in, decreasing order, because it feels kind of rude to be like, oh yeah, this is my number 1, and it was the best one. Anyways, these ones I didn't like as much, which is the other ones are still fantastic. I don't want to diminish them, so that's all I do in the descending order, because that way it feels like I'm giving them all the same amount of spotlight, while also at least being yeah, this is my favorite one, so that's why it's saved for last. So I always have the mentality of the best to save for last. Also got a Tunic of the Winds. I think we already have one from the amiibo, so yay, but I'm glad it's here. Also, are we directed into Rito Village? Because that would make sense as to why we got the Tunic of the Winds since Rito debuted in that game. Let me think. Okay, so there was Advancewares, there was... Yeah, surprisingly, Pikmin 3 is on my top 5 of last year. Pikmin 4. Pikmin 3 is a very different game! Pikmin 4 wasn't a bad game, just I don't think it stood out to me as much as other things did. I'm trying to think, what else was last year? Gale Guardians, Demon Purge was also pretty good, but I don't think that's top 5. I played almost all of the Gale Gun games last year, and those are actually hilariously fun. I was concerned about the subject matter going into them. Don't be. It's a comedy through and through, and it has some nice heartfelt moments in it too. It is not meant to be taken super seriously, and it knows that. So as much as I am one who would be man, I don't don't like this. It's my I found it pretty fun. I don't know that's how I don't know that's not gonna work. They didn't come out last year though, so they don't even count. They can't count. I only count games that came out in the year they came out. I did play recently in this year Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. It was alright. I think I've talked about it on this log before already. Didn't hate it, but definitely it's definitely an acquired taste, and I didn't jive with it as much as I thought I would have. What else? I'm trying to think of like things that I'd say like no, those aren't top 5 material for 2023. Just get them out of the way. But I can't. Oh my gosh, because there's a lot of good games that came out last year. There's a lot of good games that came out this year in 2024. It's gonna be hard. I'm just gonna go beat up that looks like a Stelnox. Yeah, no, don't throw the sword. There we go. We're not gonna beat it up. I mean, if we want to get those boss credentials, we gotta beat it up. So let's get to it. Yeah, it's a Stelnox. Let's see what else came out. Oh, the Xenoblade 3 DLC came out, but I sneakily included that in my top 2022 games because I hadn't done that video. But by the time the DLC came out, so I could include that in there. So that's part of a 2022 game. Ha. There's a few big ones I'm missing, but I think now I can actually go proper top 5 now. So you know what? Yeah, I think this is it. So my top 5 from 2023. Advance Wars Reboot Camp, number 5. I had tried to play the Advance Wars series before when a friend let me, I think, Days of Ruin. And they told me the reason they did that one is because it was its own story that was separate from what the Game Boy Advance games lore had established. And they kind of liked the tone of it better. Well, I never got far into it because I got a bit too confused. I do agree that the tone of it was probably a bit more mature, and that definitely has an appeal. But I think the problem with Days of Ruin when I first played that one was while it does have tutorials, it also still kind of expects that you know Advance Wars mechanics more so than other games. So I felt a bit lost at places. So Reboot Camp being a much more kind of cheesy story with funny characters and funny abilities and whatnot, that definitely appealed to me more, and it felt like the tutorials were definitely more catered to people who had not played the series before. And that helped me understand it a lot better, and I actually quite enjoyed it. There's a lot to enjoy with that remake. I think the only criticism I could give it is that it's difficult. They were nice enough to put in a casual mode for it, which I think is the first of its kind for the series. And I have never beaten Reboot Camp all the way. It's my number 5 because I loved the game so much when I was playing it, but I never fully finished the second campaign, which was the Black Hole Rising campaign. I got very close to the end in it, I believe. But I know the reason why I stopped is because I know I had to turn the difficulty down because normal was too hard for me. It was just getting too much, and I was like, I need to turn this difficulty down. And by that point, another game had come out that I was interested in, so I started doing that. Oh, I started playing Genshin a lot last year. That's why I couldn't think of other games. I was like, what was I doing? Oh yeah, I started playing Genshin a lot. That's why. Because I got really addicted to the Fontaine characters, and now that they are no longer in Fontaine for the main Genshin story, I'll probably abandon Genshin eventually soon, which is probably for the best. Although I do love Farina. Farina is goals. But yeah, number 5 is Advance Wars Reboot Camp. The soundtrack they remade is amazing. Just everything about that game like felt very polished, and I was very appreciative of all the hard work that went into it. I feel bad for it, given the situation, because it was supposed to come out a year earlier, and it didn't come out for real world reasons that are still real world reasons, which we should not be, but you know, whatever. And then it came out in April of 2023, which was just like, okay, I guess, but you know it's coming out in a few weeks? That's right, Tears of the Kingdom. You know it's coming out like a week and a half before that? That's right, Xenoblade 3 DLC. So I felt bad, but I played most of Advance Wars in the August after I played the bigger games, quote unquote, of the year. I think it's, to me, it speaks a lot that I prefer it over Pikmin 3, because I know Pikmin gameplay and I like that stuff, and Advance Wars Reboot Camp just seemed like the better game to me. Number 4 would be Super Mario Bros. Wonder. I'm not super big on Mario games typically, but if you give me a character I like to play as, like Daisy, and you just have a lot of fun level mechanics, especially after how kind of boring the series had gone with the new series, and even to an extent with the Mario Maker games, it felt like a nice fresh breath of air. It feels like a 2D Mario platformer probably shouldn't do the new thing ever again. It should probably be like, do this like once every 5 years or so. Don't make a new game like every 3 or 2 years. But I really enjoyed it, and of course playing as Daisy was a big help with that. And I 100%ed it, so I definitely enjoyed my time with it, for sure. It was a great game. It's probably my favorite 2D Mario game ever made at this point. Right above Mario 3. I'm not super big on Mario games to begin with anyways, so just the fact that I even consider that to be in the top 5 is pretty amazing. Especially because I don't jive with Mario games that often. Like, I'll play them, because I know they're good. They're never my favorite things. So, pro tip. Put Daisy as a playable character in game. I will play it, and I'll probably enjoy it because you let me play as Daisy. I can't really say much else because as a 2D platform, there isn't much to say other than it was a fantastic game. There's a lot of varied stages, a lot of good music, like a lot of new music that I think are going to become instant classics. I can't wait for this year for me to have the snowy music on my playlist, which I'm happy about. Yeah, he's had a lot of fun. And the different power-ups you got were also really cool, like the different badges. I like that. And I like the caterpillar, Prince Florian. He's a silly guy. I think he's cute. Not as cute as Daisy, but still cute. Number 3 would be Fire Emblem Engage. Fire Emblem Engage, to me, is quintessential Fire Emblem. That's a Frost Talus, actually. But before we go over there, I feel kind of burnt out by Three Houses. Three Houses is a good game, but I think that the multiple route thing is something they should never do again. I just want a straightforward game, guys. Like, I don't care how complicated the lore gets because you made all these different routes and all these different character things. I will take a simple, cheesy, straightforward story over that. I'm sorry if that makes me basic. I'm sorry if that makes me, like, you question my decisions in writing, but there's a nice charm to just doing something like that. And Engage definitely succeeded in every aspect of it. I actually like most of Engage's characters, where I actively disliked quite a few of Three Houses' characters, but that's also because of how Three Houses was set up as a game in of itself. And it was nice that it was also kind of just a nice love letter to the entire Fire Emblem franchise, including games that we've never seen in the West, such as Sigurd's game, and Leaf's game, and Roy's game, and one of Marth's games, but Marth is only in there once, so whatever. He counts for the one localized game of his we did get, or the two now technically, but one was on a limited release, so never mind that one. I also think Alir's just really cute. I played as female Alir, and she is adorable, and I'll protect her, and I'll also protect every other character in that game, because, again, there wasn't a character I really disliked, outside of, like, the characters you were supposed to dislike. Its DLC was also pretty good, too. I thought that it was nice in that it actually added to the story. I felt that the Ashen Wolves DLC in Three Houses kind of subtracted from the story. It added in characters I liked. I like all the Ashen Wolves, but their actual story had very little to do with them in the first place. And just made me actively dislike the one group that you're kind of supposed to side with, technically speaking, in Three Houses. So, I don't... Again, multiple routes, just stop that. Stop it. We don't need that. And all the maps in Engage were also really interesting. I think there was a great variety of maps and gameplay stages, and every character felt like no matter what, they were of use to you. So it actually made making your main force pretty hard because you weren't sure which ones you wanted to actually keep with you or not. So I know I had trouble with that because eventually you get like Tamara, and Tamara's amazing, and it's just like, ugh, but like, when everyone has their own unique class for the most part, it makes you want to use every character, and that was a good strategy after Three Houses basically said you can make any character anything you want, which wasn't a bad thing. It's just, by that logic, you just pick the characters you like the most, and you can just make them into whatever you want. Having most of the characters in Engage be fairly unique. I mean, there are some that overlap. But making most of them fairly unique definitely made you want to play around the roster a lot more. Except Cedal. I don't like Cedal. There's nothing wrong with him, actually. I just, I'm not a fan of the dancer characters unless they can actually do some interesting stuff. So, dancer is just a wasted slot in my army, usually, to me. So, sorry, Cedal. You're a good guy. I just, there's a better character to play. I'd rather play someone else. I'd rather have someone else in my army. And the ending was really good, and like, I also love just how vibrant the game was. Like, graphically, Engage looks fantastic for the type of art style they're going for. It just, everything about Engage is really good. It also has good music. It's just, really good. I was glad that I devoted like a good fourth of my year to playing Engage. Which may be thinking, if that's number 3, what the heck is number 2? Because you know what number 1 is. Well, Mr. Frosttail, since you punched me so nicely, I'll tell you. Number 2 was Sea of Stars. Holy cow, what an incredible game. Sea of Stars was done by the same team that did The Messenger, which was an indie game that came out in 2018. The story itself is actually a prequel to The Messenger, which you don't have to have played The Messenger to get that, but it's actually really cool if you have, because you'll notice a lot of different stuff in it that kind of ties back to that game. Again, it's nice to have a shorter RPG when so many RPGs these days are huge, and I mean, I'm part of the problem because I like playing those huge RPGs like Xenoblade, or currently like I'm playing Sandland. I enjoy those, but it's nice to have a smaller RPG that still feels that it has a bunch of care put into it. I don't know, for me, that was the kind of RPG I was hoping that Octopath Traveler would be, but Octopath I feel also just became too big for its own good. Meanwhile, the Sea of Stars felt like, yeah, this is a successor to Chrono Trigger. I like it better than Chrono Trigger. It was a fantastic game. I loved all the characters. It had a great moments. The soundtrack is phenomenal. Please go give it a listen. If anything, you should listen to the Sea of Stars soundtrack. It's fantastic. And how everything kind of plays out makes me really excited to see what that studio will do next. I know they are currently working on a DLC campaign that's going to have some new main characters join you, and also have the main characters of the game have new classes, so that seems like a lot of fun. So I'm excited for that, especially, but I also am just excited to see what other kind of work they're going to do, because I want to see more of this universe they're building up, because they have built quite an intricate intricate story that is just as comedical as it is serious, and I really enjoy that. I think that that is a good balance, because for me, it's like One Piece. One Piece has a lot of serious stuff in it, but it has that perfect comical balance with it that makes it just a joy to read and look at, with all the different panels on its pages. And Sea of Stars and The Messenger hit that exact same note for me. Just the perfect amount of comedy to also go with the seriousness. And it just makes me more excited to see what that world is, because the One Piece world is vast. And I can already tell that based on what they've done with Sea of Stars, that their idea for this universe they're building is also vast. And I want to see more of that. It was just a fantastic, fantastic time. Sea of Stars is probably the cheapest of all the games I've mentioned this far, so if anything, go pick that up. It's also probably the shortest of any of the games I've mentioned so far, so also go pick it up for that reason, because I'm sure that you would probably enjoy having a game that you can beat sooner rather than having a game that will take a long time, like these logs. Obviously, I can't get my full thoughts on Tears of the Kingdom right now, because we haven't been in the game as far as the logs go, but hey, we have about 50 left after this one, so we're getting there. But yeah, this is still my game of the year for last year, which is hilarious, because Breath of the Wild was my game of the year for 2017. I know Mario Odyssey got kind of high up there, but Breath of the Wild still beat it out. And yeah, with everything I've said, I like this game better than Breath of the Wild. So I think that, for me, it speaks volumes about how much I think this game is amazing. Trousers of the Hero. Oh, interesting. Okay. So I think those are the trousers actually meant to be for the quote-unquote pantsless Link. Yeah, Trousers of the Wild are different. But yeah, so that's the other games I mentioned. Advance Wars Reboot Camp, Mario Wonder, Fire Emblem Engage, Sea of Stars. Play those games. They were fantastic. And I'm probably not going to be doing a video on like top 5, top 7, whatever video games this year, so this video serves as that. I hope you're okay, Link, just exploring the depths while I gush about video games that aren't yours, but know that, lovingly, this is still my favorite from 2023, so... Yeah, no, don't get on the gloopy just because I was talking about other games. I can see other games too, you know. I especially single out Advance Wars Reboot Camp and Sea of Stars, because I believe, well, first off, Sea of Stars is an indie game, so on the principle of that, indie games should always be a priority, because indie games need the love and support so that they can make more great stuff. But then Advance Wars Reboot Camp, I would also say, should get some extra love, just due to the fact of the timing of it. I don't think it sold as particularly well as the other games I mentioned. I think it deserves the love that I'm giving it, because it is still a fantastic game. And I know it came out the same year as the Fire Emblem game, but you can play both. They play similar to a certain extent, but they're otherwise very different beasts of gameplay styles. And I think that if there's something about Fire Emblem that doesn't jive with you, you will like Advance Wars. So pick up Advance Wars, please. I want them to do a new game. I think what they did as far as the remake for Reboot Camp was fantastic. I'd be excited to see that team tackle something completely new. And I know that team was actually way forward, so even more reason for me to want them to do it again, because, hey, if Way Forward can partner up Nintendo on stuff like Advance Wars, who knows what could happen in the future? Wink, wink. But other games I mentioned, like Galgun's Demon Purge was still good. Pikmin 4 I still enjoyed. And other stuff. I mean, if you want to play Genshin, sure, but I'm going to tell you, the Fontaine story is the peak, and I don't think that this new area is going to get as peak as story-wise as Fontaine did. Sorry. Am I a simp for Farina? Yes. And Navia. And Corant, probably. And maybe Charlotte. And, like, all the female characters from Fontaine, I guess. Oh, there's an Ice Bristle Volsas? The Baba around here? Come to me, Ice Bristle Zolfos. I need your tails. Give me them. Or don't, because you're a bunch of butts. Alright, we'll make some more pins so we can keep trying to explore from this area. But yeah, my most recommended games to top 5 of last year would be Advance Wars Reboot Camp, Mario Wonder, which guessing most people probably picked up because I know 2D Mario games sell better than the 3D Mario games. Fire Emblem Engage, which my hot take about Fire Emblem Engage, besides thinking it's better than Three Houses, is that I think Engage is actually a perfectly good game to go into the Fire Emblem series blind with. If you haven't played a Fire Emblem series game before, I think Engage is fine to start with. Yes, there's going to be references to other Fire Emblem games in it, but it gives you the best type of flow of how Fire Emblem games go, and I think gives you kind of the most basic form that Fire Emblem's been in a long time. And hey, if you like those characters you meet that are from the other Fire Emblem games, then you can go check out those other Fire Emblem games if you liked Engage. But that's me on it. Oh, and Sea of Stars. Sea of Stars is so good, man. Man. I didn't even know it had a Kickstarter, and I wish I backed it. So I would have. So yeah, there's so many good games, man. Like, if all you're doing is just looking at one thing, you won't be looking at the big picture. You can't just say, oh, I only want to play Zelda games. You gotta look at things like Advance Wars and Sea of Stars and Fire Emblem. And I'm guessing if you're playing a Zelda game, you're probably looking at the Mario games already. But that too, if that doesn't meet your fancy. Broaden your horizons in terms of gameplay stuff. You'll never know what you're going to find until you go out and seek it. That's why I've been so impressed with the Sandland game, because it's technically a licensed game. It's based on an existing IP. But I had so much heart and soul put into it, and I wasn't expecting it to be a extremely fun platformer RPG with vehicle mechanics in it. It was just, good stuff. That's not to get, like, man, can't even get to the games from this year, from 2024, because 2024 has been a cavalcade of good stuff as well. Just, I feel like the moment Kirby and the Forgotten Land came out, it was off to the races, and we've had nothing but extremely well done and well made games for the last few years, which is unfortunate to hear that many of the studios that make them are getting closed or having employees terminated. So, all the more reason to support games and try to have a broader appeal. I can't stop you if you want to play another Call of Duty, but I'd urge you, if you're just going to get Call of Duty because there's a new Call of Duty coming out, maybe try something different. You never know. There might be something new and exciting that you haven't tried out before. Anyways, with that all long spiel done, because I'm just... Man, talking about games actually gets me, like, really excited. Just, there's so many good games. And this is one of them. I feel like I'm ignoring Tears of the Kingdom, but I'm not. I'm watching this very carefully. I'm just like, what am I doing here? I was like, I'm gonna burn those. You can't burn those stakes. Also, I don't think this is. Okay. Well, at least he stopped. Oh, okay. Well, that you can go bye-bye, I guess. Just thinking about games I like gets me really excited, man. Just, like this game, like, man, listening to the soundtrack. I've listened to the entire soundtrack now since I have it, and there's such a lot of cool details in this game. Like, I need you just staring at me like, what are you doing? I'm doing my happy dance because the fire is burning the brambles. I'm like, there's some great games that have come out this year that I haven't played yet, or that either haven't come out or just I can't play. Like, I can't play Astrobot. Astrobot looks fantastic. I can't play it because I have no desire to get a PS5. But I'm not going to knock it for looking incredible, and everyone else is incredible. I really only do Ace Attorney with my friends when we do our dubbing of Ace Attorney, so I haven't picked up Miles Edgeworth's Investigations. But I know people like those games. Let's see, what else? What else has come out this year that I haven't played? I don't think I could come up with that quickly at the moment right now. Instead, we have a plane. Hello. Oh. Dang it, I missed. Also, how did you not see me? Silly Yiga. What? What are you doing? Pass me? You just... Oh, okay, well, I don't think we need that one. We don't need that one. We don't need that one. I'm having a hard time, like, do I need this one? Maybe? Oh, good idea. In case we fall down, we can just warp back up here. Good thinking. I mean, I have Bakeru, but I haven't played it yet, because I'm still busy playing Sandlands. And I didn't get Sandland until it went on sale, because I was busy playing Unicorn Overlord. And I didn't start Unicorn Overlord right away, because I was busy playing Dragon Quest Monsters: The Dark Prince. And I didn't start that because of that until after I'd finished Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth. And in between there, I played Penny's Big Breakaway and Berserk Boy and some other game that I'm forgetting right now. There's just a lot of good games. Seek them out. I know the biggest hurdle is money, in which case pick the games you want the most, because obviously you can't get everything, especially if you don't have time for everything, which is my current issue. But just, I love these games, and I love this game too. I feel like I've ignored it a bit on this log, but also this is kind of like this. I've said it before, but I'll say it again. This is how my mind works when I'm playing something like this usually. Is that if I'm having a good time and I'm jiving with the gameplay, I kind of just get lost in the game, my mind wanders. And so, well, not like that. That was a failure of a launch. But basically, the way I'm talking right now is a representation of how I've been thinking at the time of playing this. Obviously not the exact same conversation, because some of those games I mentioned had not come out by the time I was playing this. But in a similar vein, that's kind of how my mind was. It's just, I'm having a good time, I'm just enjoying it. We kill the Yiga out of the sky. We're gonna go get some funky treasure from them. What kind of crazy contraption did you make this time? You made a light panel. Great for concerts, I guess. Going to that Yiga rave. Gonna go to that Yiga rave. We're gonna have a good time with the bananas that they throw at the Yiga rave. But yeah, just enjoy video games. They are meant to be enjoyed. I know I've been bad on that too sometimes because I berate other video games, but everything's good. Just have fun. Speaking of which, I wish that all of you can have fun as we come to the end of this particular video. Next time we're going to figure out where the heck to go for that. If you liked it, like, comment, subscribe. Don't have to like, comment, subscribe if you don't want to, but I appreciate it if you do. So thank you if you do. It's always greatly appreciated. If you like what you see as far as this game goes, or any game really, go pick it up. It's available on Nintendo Switch, hopefully playable on its successor. But most importantly, please have a wonderfully great day, and I will see you all on the next one. Until then, ciao.